Hey Tony, hey
Hey
Adam. My
James,
name's
what's happening?
Hey, James.
not what's happening, guys. I got a chance to watch the movie last night, and I was laughing my ass off through most of it. So Adam, Tony, thank you for that. Uh, Adam, talk to me about re-election. How true of a story is this to your life in high school and everything like that? Because I know you went to Richardson High School, and this is like a fictionalized version of it, but how fictionalized is it actually?
Well, I was the class president at Richardson High School, so that part of it is not true. I mean, Jimmy was, and then Jimmy lost. I won. I actually had my 30th high school reunion this year, like this weekend. I just came back from it literally yesterday, and we did a special screening of it for them. But I've always been interested in politics. Like I say, I was in student politics. But the journey of, I think the part of it that resonates with me that is true is that Jimmy starts off sort of in this prison of self. He's just focused on why am I not here? Why am I not there? Why am I not where all these other people are? Which is certainly something that I can relate to. And he has to learn that it's not about him. It's not about him. And the more he makes it not about him and focuses on other people, in this case Noah, the better everything turns out for him. And I think that's also been something that I've learned and I'm learning.
Yeah,
I
Tony, you
think we're all
play.
up against that. We're all up against that. Yeah, go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry.
You play Jim's dad Stanislav, and he's Adam was talking about people kind of being stuck in their ways and not seeing a way out. You kind of run this shop and it's really not going anywhere, and you've been there for a while. Is that something you were eager to portray? Like, what made you want to be Stanislav in re-election?
Well, I really like the father-son relationship, and I did like the fact that this guy, he moved the way he moves, the way he's like he's I don't know, he's like this institution. He's been there, alone, and he has his son, which I think keeps him going, and allows him to excuse his own lack of wanting better or whatever. But I really like the father-son relationship in it.
I
Sure.
think well, go ahead. I'm sure you have
No,
another
you're
question, but
good. Go ahead.
that made me think of something because I think that's a really good point, Tony, which is that like this codependency in family dynamics, I think is really something real. People get in this loop where they think they're helping each other, but in fact they're holding each other back. And
Today, the thought for the day calendar I have today said, raise kids, spend more time with them, and half the money. So you know what I mean.
yeah,
So there's this kind of
yeah,
codependency.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Anyway, but yeah.
I actually used to work in politics. I used to be a staffer on the Hill in
Oh.
DC for a while. And as I'm watching this movie, you've captured something here in a movie about an election I don't think I've ever seen before. Usually, most people view their opponents as their enemies. That's not really said here. It's more like a rivalry between you and Rizwan's character. And like it's not a friendly rivalry, but like as the movie goes on, you guys start to evolve and like you kind of come to an agreement. I've never seen a movie like that done before. Was that something you were trying to get across to the audience? Like not all of us are going to agree, but we're not all enemies at the same time.
Yes, 100%. And I mean, look, I think at that level, there's no way that you can't have respect for your opponent, right? Like Rizwan's character is the governor of Texas. So as much as Jimmy might think he's better than him or that he was cooler than him or whatever, the reality of it is that Governor Singh is the governor of Texas. And Jimmy's going to have to deal with that. And I think that's part of Jimmy's evolution is that, ultimately, like he finally at the end, I'll just say this one part. At the end, he calls him, he says governor. He refers to him as governor for the first, instead of saying, oh, it's not his accent or talking down to him or saying he's not good enough. At the end, he finally gives him his flowers. And I think that's again, it comes back to the empathy thing. We have to
And
see
I think
people.
that's what
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
well, his whole aim was to make this thing about empathy and either living with it or without it and what the difference is. And so it comes down to that in the end. And it's great, James, that that you saw that coming together at the end is I think that's the example of it.
Yeah, it's that ending phone call you guys have that brought
Yeah,
the whole thing together. Like, we're kind of on the same team now. We
that's
have
right.
that term of agreement.
Yeah.
But Tony, when Adam wanted to cast you in this, did you guys have any conversations about that, or did you just get past the script and you're like, yeah, I really want to do this? Like, did he have to convince you at all?
No, there wasn't much convincing. I liked it right off the bat. And I, like I say, I just think it's a, it's a, it's a small movie, like the ones they used to make. That's what I'm saying. That's what it feels like. Feels like I'm in something like that. And it's really it's kind of exciting.
Speaking of small movies, my dad would kill me if I didn't bring this up to Tony Danza, but he used to talk to us all the time about another coming of age story, your first movie from the 80s, The Hollywood Nights, everything
Yeah.
like that. He raved about that movie to me and my brother for years before he finally showed it to us. Do you see any similarities between Real Action and Hollywood Nights, like these kids coming of age in a different time period where everything's changing in the world?
Well, exactly. It's exactly what it was. I mean, it was that theme of the world is doing this and you're still trying to do this. And so, I think there was that connection. And by the way, thanks for reminding me. That was what a movie.
I,
What a
I
movie.
I hear it on a weekly basis. My dad's gonna be like 75. He's like, good flick, great flick. You got to see this. I mean, that's just
Tell your
uh,
father thank you.
I
Tell him
will. I'll
thank
let him know. I'm gonna show him this too. But Adam, we know Jimmy's slogan when he was running for president. Jimmy. What was your campaign slogan when you were running for class
In
president?
real life, it was well, yeah, it was hats in school. It was hats in school. I kept telling people that I would get them hats in school if they would vote for me. But I was reelected and I never delivered on that promise. And I kept running again and again on the same promise of hats in school. And I never, the administrators were never going to give me any kind of control to change the wardrobe. But that was it. Hats in school. Vote Adam for president.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, that was it. That was my winning slogan.
Well, I don't want to say anything.
I ran. I'll tell you one other quick story. This is actually true. Freshman year of college, I ran for class president, and I ran against a guy whose slogan was "Vote for Daniel. It rhymes with Cocker Spaniel." And he won. And that Daniel has now become Daniel Lurie, who is the mayor of San Francisco.
Is that right?
So
Holy
he
crap.
the vote for Daniel rhymes with Cocker Spaniel.
I wonder if he's still using that
Yeah,
slogan.
I think he must have continued with it because it was very successful.
I'm gonna have to look it up now because that would be incredible if he was still
Yeah.
using it, but I doubt it. Talking about Rezwan's character, how long did it take for him to get that accent, that southern kind of Texas accent down
He's
as
so
Manoush
great.
Singh?
He's really the
First,
guy is.
yeah, he's an amazing actor and a great comedian and a close friend of mine. Rizwan and I play poker together every week. He's a great poker player
Is
too.
he?
Yeah. But we talked about all this stuff. We talked about him putting on an accent. His character was kind of inspired by Governor Bobby Jindal.
Yeah.
And we talked about what it is. Riz and I talked about this a lot. Like to see a person of Indian descent, as both of those as both Jindal and Riz are, speaking with an American Southern accent is disconcerting to some people. It seems like, oh, well, that's because it's not, and so Riz, we really wanted to play into that. And so the idea was that Riz didn't naturally have that Manish Singh did not, that was first generation. You see the younger Governor Singh, talks with an accent that's not the Southern accent. And then he learned it so that he could, be one of the people. And so all of his stuff is very
He's
presentational.
ingratiating himself.
Yeah, he's ingratiating himself, but he does it in a way that works. Governor Singh figured it out. And that's why it bothers Jimmy so much, because Jimmy's whole thing is truth. Like if Jimmy started talking in an accent, it would be weird, but Governor Singh pulls it off somehow. But yeah,
But
Riz, yeah.
you're from Texas, but you don't have the accent. Tony, you're from New York. You kind of have that
I'm
accent.
from Brooklyn. I talk like
When I was home from our reunion, I talked a little bit more like this.
All right, I figured it was kind of like that thing.
You could slide it.
There it is, just right there. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, look, I'm from Chicago originally, but I live in Philadelphia right now. People are like, "You don't have the accent that we're used to hearing." I was like, I never even heard that accent until I was older. So that's just like a Hollywood play it up for the TV kind of thing. But it does
Right.
exist. You can ask Tony. He taught in a school here in the Northeast. He can tell you the same thing.
It's true. Yeah, yeah. But there is a Chicago accent. Chicago.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of that too.
My dad has that accent. If he would hear it, be like, "Oh, you're talking to Tony Danza? Yeah, tell him I said hi." All that stuff. But Tony, one more thing I got to say to you. I was born in '86. I'm a kid of the
Mhm.
'90s. I grew up watching Angels in the Outfield, which is one of my favorite baseball movies of all time. So I've always wanted to ask you this question. You used to be Mel Clark?
Yeah, yeah, I used to be.
I had to do that one. But
That's all right.
I watched Re-election last night. I loved it. Usually when I see these things, I'm like, it's gonna be okay. But this was actually a really great movie. Adam and Tony, I'm so glad you guys got to do this together. It was a great time. I can't wait for everybody to see it when it comes out this week and next week. So thanks for sitting down and talking to me today about
No,
Re-election.
thanks a lot,
Thanks,
James.
James.
Thanks for
Appreciate it,
the
man.
kind words. That's nice. Thank you.
Have a good one, guys.
Bye-bye.